Welcome to TLH Patterns. In this video, we'll see how to crochet a very easy shawl made using chain stitches. To make this shawl, you'll need a minimum of 275 meters of sport weight yarn and a 3.5 mm crochet hook. You can of course try this using any yarn and a suitable hook, and the size can also be adjusted. Before starting, let me first give you an idea of how this shawl is designed. Now, it starts from the bottom and goes up. So the first row has one loop or one space, and then the second row has two spaces. The third row has three, the fourth row has four, and then the fifth row has two spaces followed by a shell followed by two spaces. So the next row will be six spaces, just chain spaces without shells, and the seventh row will be two spaces followed by a shell, then a space, then a shell, then two spaces. Here every alternate row will be just spaces, chain spaces without any shells. We will have one outer row of shell, then an inner row of shell, and then after a few rows you will repeat the pattern again, working one outer row and an inner row. You can expand this to as many rows as you want. Let me show you a few more rows. So after a shell row, it will be just a plain chain spaces. Okay, then next will be the shell row. First I'll draw the chain spaces and then I'll fill with the shells wherever required. So for this row, you will make the shell here, and then one here, after three spaces there will be a shell, then after one space a shell, and here also after three spaces there will be a shell, then after one space another shell. Okay, I'll show you one more row of shells. A shell here, then after one space another shell, and then on this side you will make a shell here, another here. So you will have three spaces between the two inner rows of shells. After three spaces, make shells on both the sides, and then after one space you will have the outermost row of shell. So this is a basic pattern. You can expand it as big as you want, including more rows of shells within these rows. Okay, let's start now. First make a slip knot and then work 12 chains. Then make a treble crochet in the last chain. To make a treble, wrap the yarn twice around the hook and then insert hook into the last chain. Pull yarn, yarn over and pull through two loops 3 times. Yarn over and pull through two loops. Again yarn over and pull through two loops. This is a treble. And this is the first row where you have one chain space, and then start with chain 11. Always start a new row with chain 11 and finish with treble. Now turn and work a single crochet in the chain 12 space. You have one space now. You have to make one more. Make 7 chains. And now work a treble into the same space. Yarn over twice, insert hook, pull yarn, yarn over and pull through two loops, yarn over, pull through two loops, yarn over and pull through two loops. So you can see there are two chain spaces now. This is your second row. Start the third row with chain 11. Turn and work a single crochet in the first chain space, then chain 7, single crochet in the next space, Again chain 7, you'll finish the row with a treble in the same space. We'll start the 4th row with chain 11, single crochet in the first chain 7 space, then chain 7, single crochet in the next space, again chain 7, single crochet in the next space, chain 7, treble in the same space. You have 4 chain spaces in this row, and the next row we'll start working the shell. Chain 11, turn and work single crochet in the first space, chain 7, then a single crochet in the next space. So you have 2 spaces now. Then comes the shell. Into this single crochet you will work 2 double crochets, chain 3 and 2 double crochets. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 3 and then 1 double crochet and another double crochet. This is a shell. Now work a single crochet in the next space, chain 7, single crochet in next space, chain 7, treble in the same space. You have 2 spaces followed by a shell and then 2 spaces. Every alternate row is a chain space row without shells. So the 6th row will be just 6 chain spaces. You will work the single crochet of the 3rd chain space into the chain 3 space of the shell. Next is a shell row. We will first make 2 spaces. The outer row of shell will always start after 2 spaces. You'll have to make shells here and here. So work 2 double crochet, chain 3 and 2 double crochet in the next single crochet. Single crochet in the next chain space, then chain 7, single crochet in the next chain space followed by a shell, which is 2 double crochet, chain 3 and 2 double crochet. Single crochet in the next space, then work 2 chain spaces, chain 7, single crochet in the next space, then chain 7 and treble in the same space. Okay, so the next row would be just a chain space row where you will make 8 chain spaces. So this is the completed row 8 with the 8 chain spaces, and next is a shell row. We'll make a shell here, a shell here and one here. So in this row we will start the second row of shells. Make 11 chains, single crochet in the first space, chain 7, single crochet in the next space, then make a shell in the next single crochet, single crochet in next space, then chain 7, single crochet in next space, then a shell, then single crochet in the next space followed by chain 7, single crochet in the next space, then a shell in the next single crochet, single crochet in the next space, and then chain 7, single crochet in the last chain space, and then chain 7, treble in the same space. So this is the outer row of shells, and you are starting the next inner row of shells. Next is row 10, which is a chain space row. Here you will be making 10 chain spaces. Next is a shell stitch row. We will make a shell here and one here, which forms the inner row, another here and another here. So totally you will be making 4 shells in this row. Okay, this is the completed 11th row, and the 12th row is a chain space row where you will have 12 chain spaces. So we'll start the next row. For the outer row of shell, the next shell will come here and one here, and then for the inner row the next shell will come here and the next one here. Okay, here is a completed row. You have the first outer row and then a second inner row. I completed the 14th row also, and now let's see where we need to make shells in the 15th row. For the outer row, the next shell comes here, and on the other side it comes here, and then for the inner row you will make a shell here and here. I completed 2 rows, and now we'll start a new row of shell over here. This is row 17 and I'm making a shell after 2 chain spaces. Single crochet in the next space, then chain 7, single crochet in next space, shell in the next single crochet, single crochet in the next chain 7 space, then chain 7, single crochet in next space. Make 3 chain 7 spaces. This is the second space. Make 1 more chain 7 space. Okay, now we'll start the next third row of shells. Work a shell in the next single crochet, single crochet in the next chain 7 space, and then work 3 chain 7 spaces. Next is a shell. Single crochet in the next chain 7 space, then chain 7, single crochet in the next chain 7 space followed by a shell. Single crochet in next chain 7 space, chain 7, single crochet in next space, chain 7, make a treble in the same space. So here you start the outer row of the second set of rows, and then you will make another inner row as you did in the initial 2 rows. So it's the same pattern which keeps repeating again and again. You can work as many rows as you want. My shawl is a small one. I worked 4 to 6 rows. Next I'll show you how to work a simple border for this shawl. Finish with a chain space row. After you finish the row with the treble stitch, make chain 3 and then a slip stitch in the top of the treble. This forms a picot. Then work 3 single crochets in the post of the treble. At the base of the treble, into the stitch, make a single crochet and then work a picot. Then work 4 single crochets into the next chain space. Then a single crochet in the next stitch followed by a picot. Three single crochets in the post of next treble. single crochet at the base of the treble into the stitch, and then a picot, 4 single crochets in the next chain space, single crochet in the next stitch followed by a picot, now repeat this till the edge, and here in the edge you will make a picot and then follow it on the other side, and when you come to the top you will work 4 single crochets in each chain space with 1 single crochet in each stitch. Don't forget to block the shawl after finishing. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this pattern. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and also please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.